This is day 4 that we are creating the 365 Consciousness podcast, and assistant of working with this book's mission for you. If you haven't already followed the instructions from the inside the book or from the free sample chapter we have, please go download that for yourself. You can get the book at Amazon, or you can just go through the bookstore here at yayupublishing.com. You can get your free sample chapters there as well. So take a look. You can't really understand what this podcast, the 365 Consciousness, is offering you if you're not working with that book. It'll help you on some things, but it's not a true sense of what's going on. So I highly encourage everyone to go out there, download the sample chapter, at least, no cost to you. Now it's going to give you good week to think about. Are you ready to make something different? Make the change. And at the end of this process, hopefully you could say, with a positive note, in a renewed spiritual enthusiasm, that changed my life. And let's do it together. So with that, what I am going to do today is a little bit different than the first 3 episodes. If you have not watched the first 3 episodes, you have to go back and look at that. The 3 episodes will help you understand how we progress from just taking the page of the book, reading the instructions and following instructions and trying it out with the workbook. And then second day repeated similar, but we got a little deeper. And the third day, I start to take away things from you. So fourth day, today is the 4th day, I am going to take the workbook away from you. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and just go into page 4. And let's look at page 4 here. Am I doing it right? How often do you ask yourself that? Am I doing it right? And how do you feel about the confidence of doing it right or doing it wrong? Do you stick by doing it right or doing it wrong? Do you always stick by your decisions? Especially after you realized it was not a good decision. Do you still stick by your first decision so you avoid being wrong? Have you ever thought about that? So it's a very interesting thing that we look at from a point of view of what we do with 365 every day. We try to create a certain challenge every day for ourselves. And with this, what we're looking and seeking for is a way of breaking out old habit thinkings, old habitual ways that is causing us going around in the circle at times, possibly limiting our ceiling, if you will. So the key component to really break out of those things is being able to identify it first. You have to know who you're fighting against, if you know what I mean. So take a second, take a look at that day 4 graphic. Take a look at that word. There's a bold word in there. What's going on with that? Take a look at that. Give it a second. We seeing anything different yet? The trust. So it was emphasis on the line that's talking about the level of trust. Okay, so who are we trusting? That is a key. Remember, this whole thing's about sharpening yourself. It's about identifying and the capability of creating confidence when you make a decision. So I know at times that seems to be the most easiest thing to do because you're depending on yourself. Sometimes the easiest thing to do becomes the hardest thing to do. And why do you think that becomes that? What becomes hard that is easy? It's the limitation of your thought, the guidelines that you've laid out on your mindset on how to achieve or cannot achieve in this particular instance, opportunity, situation. So it's important. It's important to assess the depth. And often, when we are conditioned and become comfortable with only doing things that is quick, that resolves the issue for the moment, but the decision doesn't really sit well. Meaning also too that sometimes that decision just doesn't resonate correctly. It seems like it filled 80% of what I needed, but there's something still leaking here on the 20%. So that's your inner self. That's your distinction, your connection helping to identify. So where is your trust? Or were you even aware that the trust was there in the first place? That is something that is very interesting with each and individual one of us. It's never just, oh, it's a blanket statement of if you trust this, everybody can trust it, then it becomes that. So let me sit with you for a few minutes and talk about the aspect of depth. What I mean by depth, when you start to go down this road of finding confidence to be able to have high level of trust. Confidence comes within the relationship of inner self to be able to set the table for the mind, for your process to be able to execute, to strategize, or to repeat, to re-emulate the knowledge. What part do you often find yourself stagnate or not fulfilling with the correct choice? So dig on that first and foremost. If you already recognize there's a pattern to a certain door you're going to, then I would say that is your first red flag or stop sign. Don't go any further until we understand why we are creating this. Sometimes it actually is just compartmentalizing the mind into such a small box that you're just going around in a box. So it doesn't matter how fast or how slow, how patient or how aggressive, how energetic or how sad. Everything, when you put your energy to it, is still not coming or leaving out of that box. So box creates limitations. And how do we end up being in that kind of a box? And, figuratively, this box is created every time we put boundaries up because we felt threats or we felt lack. The key thing was always thinking that we need some kind of fulfillment, immediate fulfillment, or immediate comfort, or immediate approval, immediate love. If there's a void of those things, we tend to then start questioning. And the question is varied. So it's not for one answer that solves this problem. You have this, but your answer may be different than mine. The principle's the same. That's the thing that I want everybody to understand. It's like playing baseball. We may all look different in our uniforms. We may all look different when we're standing there with our gloves. We surely look very different when we go up there at bat and start to get into our stance and our comfort in our thing, if you will. And we all look different. We swing different. We do different things. but we're playing one thing, baseball. Here we are looking to mastery of self-success. We want to bring positivity into everything that we want to generate, produce, organize. Having positive energy in everything we do radiates out to positive connections to others. I don't know why anybody would outright, on purpose, to try to create connection with the negativity. No, that's not true. So here's the level of trust. I have history of using the negative energy. And the reason you go behind using negative energy is to fulfill self in empowerment, because you can thrive off other people's negative energy, their sufferings, make your sufferings not so bad. Interestingly, the ones that we don't want to hurt ourselves, our inner selves, we are desperately clutching to protect it, yet we're okay to see other people's pain and suffering for it. Hence, we're in a dark loop, and it's hard to get out of that one if you don't understand how to refine the inner self. This is why you go to work every day and you're just saying, I don't like this. Why am I here? And all the things you do that day becomes less passionate. All the things you do that day becomes less important, less effort, less intent. So the intent aspect of it is huge. It's huge. I have to know that you are here because you're ready to make difference, to want to change and sharpen you to the next level and levels beyond. I am grateful that we are here together. Everything that you sharpen, help me sharpen more as well. This is how we work in connective consciousness, in totality of one. So with that intention, let me share with you this story, which we have now called the bug story. And this will probably come out of a 365 book supplemental later down the road. We are doing the workbook supplement at no cost to you. We're going to, if you already bought a book, just make sure you email us over at Yahoo Publishing. I'll send you the workbook in PDF form. If we're going through Amazon, of course, Amazon is going to charge you to print books. So if you need paper books, by all means, that is good too. Collectibles, all kind of stuff like that. So they do that service for us. But here's the thing. In regards to getting the workbook into this helps promote you on intent, the intention of it, the intention of investing in yourself, the intention of doing something that is for the good, for the positive, that involves no one else but you. It's a very self moment. And this is not selfish. This is self-serving in the great, grand way. So it's entirely different when you're feeding your soul and you're feeding your mind and you're feeding yourself in a trinity of wholesome togetherness. This is the effort. This is the full, passionate connection. With that, the bug story came about on intention. So as human behavior, as we do things, we tend to condition become a action-reaction habit or a reflex. Whenever there's an itch, you automatically in your mind would process, hey, let me scratch the itch and relieve that so-called signal, that annoying signal that says, please scratch, scratch, scratch. Well, if you go outside and play in the yard and all of a sudden you get a bug bite and you see it happening and it starts to swell in, sending signals to you. Oh, please, please, please come down here. Something happened and I need you to scratch and relieve this signal. Okay, so your hand started going down to the leg and wanting to scratch that bug bite. Then your logic kicks in and go, wait a minute here. This is an insect bite. If you scratch it, you could break skin and cause bleeding, and then it takes longer to fix it, and it could get infected, and is not right thing to do. Now, here's a fork in the road, isn't it? I don't know if I scratch this, if I would cause myself further harm, or if I don't scratch it, would it drive me nuts? Okay, so here's a contemplation here. You're debating yourself whether to scratch or not scratch. So first and foremost, you're going to probably go look for some kind of relief. Oh, if I put this bug spray on, if I do this Bactine or whatever the product may be that I wipe on my bite and it relieves some of that signal that says scratch, scratch. Okay. Phew. Now I relaxed a little bit, but it's still there. Its intention is driving me with the signal saying, do something, do something. So where is my mind sitting at this point? My mind's going to have to make a decision to keep my sanity, to work still forward on my agendas without distraction. And so the first thing that comes to the mind is, you know what? Let me just bear with this. And then by the end of this task, I can then scratch and solve the problem. Well, it seems to be the mind works perfectly and comes up with a solution at the end of the result of one end to be able to solve this problem of the itch with the signal. But in a bigger picture, and this is where the discipline comes in. This is where that 2 years of monkey kung fu really did a number in regards to focus. Focus with intent. Understand your intent. My intention initially has always been do not harm myself further by scratching it and causing it into a wound, an infection, possibly. I don't want any of those things in my life. So scratching at the end as a reward actually is a falsehood of result that I did not really want. But yet I entertained it because it gave me a reward at the end. You see, this is a conditioned response thing that I would say every one of us have. You do this, you'll get this reward. If you be patient, you finish that out, you will get this reward. If I create this obstacle for myself and I finish these tasks over these obstacles, I can have my reward. So we become that kind of a Pavlov's dog reward bell ringing thing in our mindset. And yet, if you want to refine and go further to it, this is where you want to get yourself out of that box. I don't want a reward. I want to be disciplined. I want to be able to have control and protect my inner self and my outer self and all of myself. And protecting myself is not unnecessarily injuring myself because the signal says itch. I already put some topical on it, so it's soothing a little bit of it. So it's taking that super aggressive signal out, but it's still there. It's still there. What should I do? Now, the interesting thing is because this has happened already all through my lifetime, right? You already know how long the topical is going to take, and you already know if you don't scratch it, how long it would bother you before your mind goes away and no longer bothers you whatsoever about the signal of itching. So that's where the interesting part about intent. Where was my intention? What would be your intention? Would you say to yourself, for the better of myself and protective of myself, I will not scratch. I will concentrate away from this signal. I will set the signal aside as a non-important item. And eventually this non-important item has a expiration time stamp. And by the end of this time, it just eventually fades away. It doesn't itch hardly any. It doesn't even, oh, I don't even feel anything there anymore. It's interesting. That's less than a day ago. And I have no more of this irritating signal that's asking me to break skin and cause a wound. On so many levels, it's metaphysical, metaphorical in a way that this is all encompassing. We really have to look at what we're doing with our intentions and how we operate every day. And what is that all about? And with that, how deep can you actually go? Or have you not taught to have the capacity, skills, knowledge, aptitude, techniques? These are all things required to help. But without going for using any of these tools, it's really difficult to go past maybe layer one. There's so many layers of you. You are so deep. You are creation of wonderment of this universe. This is why you are here. So unlock the greatness in you by understanding your intention and the multi-level of self that you actually have. Once you understand the bug story and you become the master of your intentions, no bug bites will ever make you scratch your itch like your life depends on it, because you already know it'll be there temporarily and it's going to go away shortly. So with all that, do your workbook. Like I said, if you have not downloaded your samples, go do that at yayupublishing.com. If you're ready to dive into this, go to Yayu Publishing, go to bookstore. They'll take you to all the book links and get that. Right now, there's no paper copy yet. So for the workbook, so that will be emailed to you PDF when you contact us. We will organize that into a printable as well, and I'll make that at the lowest cost possible for everybody to have with their book. And always follow this podcast. The 365 Consciousness podcast is designed to help you with this method, this practice. We are developing a system, a dough in you, just like martial arts, just like a certain sport. It's done in a way with an instrument, this instrument being you. So we're going to develop you deeper, wiser, more loving, more compassionate, more reasonable. That's the one thing that I've definitely recognized by having connection, by having unity and understanding, becoming power of one. You are so much more confident and relaxed on the power of everyone with you, within you, and you. And the recognition and acceptance of that is so great. And it's so welcoming. And it is so satisfying. So I encourage you, keep at it. We're not even out of first week. That's why I'm laughing. I've been doing these things for decades. So I know it seems so far away. It's so hard to reach, even 6 weeks. For a lot of people, they've never done something for 6 weeks straight. And that's okay. There's always something that plants the seed that makes you start day one. And before you know it, it's day 365. And that's how it works. And then before you know it's 10 of those 365s, 20, 30. And you know what? Realistic, we don't count. Because you know why? It's the art of mastering. It became, we are. So go visit us at Yayu Publishing for the books. If you want to sign up and really go deep on this, I do offer one-on-ones. This is not a charity case. I am going to invest in you. So you will get sticker shocked, I promise you. If you're not into this for real, then yes, 365, the 365method.com. That's right. The 365method.com has all kinds of stuff. You can contact me. If you just want to talk to me, ask a question, just type it in. I'll see what I can come up for you. Because it is about us all connecting. It's about us all being great together. So do that. And for other people that's in, let's say in this world, this is on another note. I will be at the Dallas International Association of Home Staging Professionals, IHOSP, conference. This is the largest real estate, professional photographers, stagers, designers, decorative manufacturers, furniture makers. We all meet in the conference in North America, and also there's a version of it over at the other side of the pond. And these are so fantastic because we're meeting with individuals that is so high up on their perspective industry, in leadership, in management, in creativity. These are all things that I thrive when I come to these conferences and kind of have dinner and hang out and talk and just get very inspired. And I'm so honored this year that I am going to speak on behalf of Yayu Publishing in this conference about diversifying, understanding self, on what your voice could be if you become a writer, author, and how should a publisher trust and take care of you. And the key factor always comes down to this. It's got to be what you believe in. If you're writing stuff that you don't believe in, chances are a publisher is not going to have that level of trust in you. So this is how that works, isn't it? Always think the truest of self with the greatest intentions. That is the best thing you can do. Have a great day 4. Work on your workbook. Really be due diligent and put some time in yourself today. 15, 20. A lot of people don't even do that. 15, 20 minutes. That's nothing. Okay. And once you do that, that'll be a good start. Don't ever be afraid to give yourself a day. Sometimes it requires that. I will see you on day 5 of the podcast.